All right. So just close your eyes for a moment before we start and go in. Michael, would you mind putting yourself on mute, please? Thank you so much. Just go inside for a moment, inside your own mind. And if you are sitting at the desk with your feet down, just feel the feet flat on the floor. And you can have your hands resting on your thighs, in your lap, and maybe sitting on your sits bones. Shoulders are aligned with the hips. And the head, the ears aligned with the shoulders as much as possible. And the head is very slightly tipped forward, eyes are down. Bring your awareness to the crown of the head and relax the scalp. Just feel everything letting go, the forehead, the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the mouth, the jaw, back of the head. Relax the tongue, back of the tongue, and notice how that affects your jaw. And relax the back of the neck and your shoulders. Let your shoulder blades drop down. Relax the throat and the chest and the belly and your limbs. And then just bring the mind to the breath, noticing the sensation of the air as you're inhaling and exhaling. And notice the comfort of breathing. You know, we take the ease of our breath completely for granted until one day we, you know, for those people that got COVID, they couldn't breathe. It was frightening. So the ease with which you can breathe, it's very comforting. So just notice that and let it go. And be aware of any sounds in your environment. So try not to follow those sounds with your mind. Just allow them to be there. And then think, what's going on in the mind tonight? Just be aware of the thoughts as they're arising. So at the beginning, I asked us to go inside, whatever that means for you. Just notice what happens now. You've had this just a minute or two of experiencing going inside now. Take your awareness to the outer edges of the room you're sitting in, the periphery of your vision. And then to the outside of your home or your apartment. Can you see in front and behind you? And then bring the mind back in. Take a nice deep breath. This is home. Home is who you really are. So those thoughts that are arising that aren't necessarily very helpful, you can just allow them to arise, notice what's there, take a step back and just watch. And we put ourselves on the bank of our river. Watch that river flow on by. And while we're sitting on the bank, we're nice and dry and we're free from the river. So just briefly bring to mind all those people of your life, the ones you love. These are people you have very kind of deep and meaningful relationships with, profound relationships. Our beloveds, our friends, our children, spouses. And then there's those people in your life who are a bit difficult for you. And then there's our strangers. Keeping in mind they can change place at any time, these relationships, due to impermanence. And then there's this thing we need to think about in terms of equanimity, that everyone is equal when it comes down to it, in their wish to be happy and their wish to be free from suffering. Although not everybody can see that the things that they're looking for to make them happy and the things that they're trying to do to cease suffering actually end up having the opposite effect. And everyone is equal in their wish, in their ability to attain this extraordinary capacity for this enlightened mind. So I think we'll do this meditation this evening for the benefit of all these people of our life, and by extension, all sentient beings. So just remembering there is no negativity that you cannot purify. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. So we create negativity with our mind, so we can change it by creating positivity instead. So we start with the power of regret from these 4 opponent powers. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done, excuse me, to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all past lives. And you can think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. And we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. So having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. We cannot bear the thought of the future suffering that we ourselves will experience. And we know from our present suffering we don't want any more. So therefore, we'd like to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want their future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret the anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others, and think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. So we turn to the Buddha, the doctor, who has the methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we're needing Buddha to forgive us. We're not needing some kind of higher power to come along and make it all better. We're doing the work ourselves by relying upon Vajrasattva's medicine. So imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is your teacher, if you have a teacher, manifesting in this form for your benefit. So there is Vajrasattva. So, but imagine that image above the crown of your head. He's made of radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. Has a beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are shaped like lotus petals, and they're peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents a union of these two, which symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood, so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings. So bring to mind some beings you may have harmed, and then those who have harmed you, and develop a wish for them to be free from suffering. So I think now we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the medicine, doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of all of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid, and this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Om Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sata a hum pe vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dinapatita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sata a hum pe vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dinapatita dida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sata a hum pe vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dinapatita dida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sata a hum pe vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dinapatita dida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sata a hum pe vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dinapatita dida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sata a hum pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with the body. So the moment they see you, smell you, feel you, benefits their mind. And then the purification of speech. And again, Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and forcefully enters your crown, filling your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, which overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So just imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech, inappropriate speech, and lying and talking badly about others behind their backs. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dinapatita dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dinapatita dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dinapatita Dida Miboa, Sitokaya Miboa, Sipokaya Miboa, Anarakta Miboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitam Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe and Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Miboa, Sitokaya Miboa, Sipokaya Miboa, Anarakta Miboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitam Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Miboa Sitokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Anarakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Miboa Sitokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Anarakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others with your speech. And it will benefit you as well, because you will also be hearing wise, appropriate, kind, helpful speech. So the next is the purification of the mind. And Vajrasattva now very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and into your crown and fills your entire being. So it's just the same as when you walk into a pitch black room and you flick on that switch, that light instantly dispels the darkness. So you can imagine all depression, anxiety, attachment, and neediness and anger, resentment, jealousy, grudges, bitterness, all of this instantly dispelled as you recite the mantra. Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Miboa Sitokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Anarakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Miboa Sitokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Anarakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Miboa Sitokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Anarakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Miboa Sitokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Anarakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Miboa Sitokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Anarakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Miboa Sitokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Anarakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Miboa Sitokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Anarakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe. So again, be delighted that all of your delusions, which are the cause of and the source of all of our own suffering, for all of us, and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified. Imagine it's all gone and think there's no space in your heart for anything now other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So next is the purification of the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And this time we can imagine Vajrasattva again very compassionately sending out light and nectar and completely eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind. Om Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasedi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe Om Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sabasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe. So now feel completely purified. Imagine not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. So now we come to the power of resolve. And this is a really important step in the purification process, is this determination to not harm with our body and speech and mind. Mind really is, all this negative self-talk, but also, all the stuff that goes on in our mind leads to harming with our speech and our body. And without this sort of aspiration or this determination, this decision we're going to make, we're going to keep doing the same old things over and over again, same old habits. So just think of something you'd like to work on between now and tomorrow. Perhaps it's a speech thing, perhaps it's a mind thing. And just give yourselves a reasonable timeline. 30 seconds overnight while you're sleeping. And make some kind of a determination for yourself and just stay with that. Try and stick to it. And then rejoice in your efforts. Amazing. I mean, it's amazing you all made it here this evening. It's fantastic. So rejoice in that. So Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think my Guru's body, speech, and mind, and Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, my own body, speech, and mind are the same thing. And next, Rinpoche used to recommend to meditate on emptiness. sort of helps to sort of dedicate with emptiness. It kind of helps to seal everything. So you think in emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. We can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. And let's just dedicate all the positive energy you've created this evening doing this purification process to practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. Okay, for His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. And for Lama Zopa Rinpoche, patient in bearing the hardships of spreading the teachings of the Muni in general, and the teachings of the victorious Jamgon, Tsongkhapa, and in hundreds of directions, Lord of Dharma, holding the 3 vows and wearing saffron robes, please quickly return as the glory of the peerless teachings. You held the teachings of explanation and practice with great asceticism, and able to bear that transmigratory beings are confused by the darkness of suffering. Through your great loving kindness, you skillfully led them to happiness. Unparalleled Son of the teachings, please return quickly. Beautified by the ornament of supreme patience in increasing the practice of the supreme authentic teachings of the victorious one through listening, reflection, and meditation. The guide of all transmigratory beings along the perfect path, true and perfect pure Guru, please return quickly. Lama Ursel Venerable One, do you whose kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindful of your loving concern for us in intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request. O Lama, please live long. And for Geshe Shera, beloved teacher leading your students toward wisdom and compassion, explaining through exacting discernment the steps of the graduated path, you are the unequal guide. Please live a long and stable life. Okay, everybody. Thank you so much. Lots of love. Elizabeth wants to make a dedication to Ernst. Kfella, my friend Karina's father, who passed away in Switzerland yesterday. Okay, sure. Ernst. I hope that's how you say his name. So maybe you have a swift and peaceful return in either a precious human rebirth or to a pure realm. I guess that's the equivalent of heaven. I don't know. Don't know much about those kinds of things. But anyway, lots of love, everybody. Thank you, Elizabeth. And thanks, everybody. Bye, Black Cat.